Perfect. Cool. Okay. Nice.
Hello.
Welcome, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good morning for
GuitarZoom
some of
Unplugged.
you. Yeah, we always get people from different continents. Let me open here the chat. Participants.
Hi guys.
Hey, Mikey.
Hello.
How you been?
Hey, doing well. How about you?
Oh, good.
Doing great.
I put just the YouTube chat here.
Yep.
Just wait.
Oh, right. We're streaming this on YouTube. I almost forgot about that.
It should be. Yeah, it's live.
How you been?
Doing well here. Alrighty.
Okay. Good.
Remember to pin us, both of us, on the screen.
Yeah, good call. Pin.
Perfect. Got a YouTube chat now.
Pin here too. Okay, perfect. Good. So. Okay, we just got calling in, and we're about to get started. Actually, calling was the one that suggested this session. So it's good to see all of you guys. I see some new faces, new names, more than faces, and so yeah, we're gonna get started for the
morning,
ones
guys.
Hello, good morning. Welcome.
Hi, Colin.
So for the ones that it's the first time for you, this is a free lesson, and it's one of the many lessons we actually have here at the GuitarZoom Academy. We do this kind of sessions every day, pretty much every day, and a couple of times each day, different topics. It's a good time to learn new stuff, get feedback, and along with open rooms that we have some more free sessions where you can just jump in, jump out as you want, as your schedule allows it, and yeah, just learn, get real feedback in real time. And if that's something that you're interested in, and if you happen to get value out of this lesson, we're gonna be dropping a link in the chat right now. I'm gonna drop that link also in YouTube. There we go. So if you're curious about it, please click on that link, and it will ask you a couple of questions just to see if the GuitarZoom Academy is the right fit for you, and we can talk more about it, and we'll be happy to have you in the academy. So today I'm joined by Manuel. He's also an instructor here at the academy, and Miguel, also instructor here. We both live in Argentina, but Manuel is the real Argentinian. I'm actually from Chile, but I've been living here for a while.
If you drink mate, you're Argentinian. Let's just call it that way.
And I actually moved to Argentina to sorry about that. Let me just mute that. I moved to Argentina to study and to continue my degree in music in guitar, and specifically this kind of guitar, you can call it Spanish guitar, classical guitar, or as the topic of today's lesson, fingerstyle guitar. So what actually is fingerstyle guitar? It's not really related to a kind of guitar, so it's not something exclusive to nylon string guitar or steel string guitar. We can play fingerstyle in electric, in nylon, acoustic. It's just when it's about the right hand, right, or a strumming or plucking hand. Instead of using a pick, we'll be using our fingers. So fingerstyle, right?
Right.
So yeah, we'll be talking about a couple of things. So starting with the very, very basics, talking about posture, a couple of exercises to start, getting some movement in our fingers. If we're used to play with a pick, it might be kind of a foreign land for you, but this will give you a couple of exercises to getting started, some patterns, and how you can apply it to your playing, because it is a very broad, the fingerstyle playing. We can use it to accompany, to play solo guitar. That's kind of a big thing for fingerstyle. It gives a lot of possibilities, different possibilities than playing with a pick. So we'll be talking about that.
Sounds good, Miguel. Now, for those of us, including myself, that mostly play with pick, what is the number one thing that you would say, like you being the fingerstyle expert? I am just here to prove that shredders can also use their fingers to play. But you are the fingerstyle expert. So what is let's say, like top 3 things that, or I don't know, the most important thing that a pick user should have in mind when jumping into fingerstyle?
Well, the big difference is that we have this kind of separation, right? When we have the pick, most of the time, if you're just playing not hybrid picking or any of those kind of fancy techniques, you'll be playing just one note, or you can strum a full chord. And when we use our fingers, we get this, right? So kind of our thumb and our fingers, and we get that independence. So we can play, for example, this kind of playing, like playing. So I'm playing 4 strings at the same time, and if you wanted to do that with a pick, it's kind of impossible. You can play like that, or play more hybrid picking. So that's
to cheat.
right. I kind of have one of the big differences. It's that independence of each finger when we're playing. So, and within that independence of each finger, we can also separate it with thumb and fingers, and we'll be seeing that very soon with the exercises, that how we apply that. So I would say that's kind of number one thing. And the good thing is that the left hand is pretty much the same. So depending on the repertoire or whatever you're playing, it might be a little bit different. But with the left hand, we'll be focusing mostly in the right hand now. Mm-hmm. And I'm curious, what do you think is as a mostly a picker, a shredder, what's the big difference for you when you play with fingers?
Well, yeah, most of the time when you're using a pick, you are resting the wrist on the ridge, usually. If you were to play
That's true, yeah.
The typical picking technique involves having an anchor point for you to pivot your wrist, and that doesn't happen on classical guitar. And there's a question on YouTube says, or not a question, but a comment by Kristen Dom Defender. He says he rests his pinky when playing, and that's actually very inconvenient when you're doing fingerstyle. You really want to have full freedom here. You want to have your hand like coming from the top, and I can see here on my camera. But you want to have full range of motion in all your fingers. Right? Which if you do this, or if you anchor your fingers or your wrist anywhere, that's going to limit a lot of your motions. Unless you're trying to, the only exception that I can think of is like if you're trying to mute, then in that case you may need to rest your hands. But for most of the time, you want to have your right hand floating like this. Right? Or correct me if I'm wrong, Neil, but that's pretty much as mainly a pick user. That's the number one thing I would say. Like avoiding this, which some people I see that they tend to pick and they wrap their fingers around the strings, or they tend to anchor here. That's like a big no in any kind of technique, but especially on fingerstyle. You don't want to anchor here on a finger, because you're basically not just you're losing that finger, but you're just limiting your motion. So you don't really want to do that.
I didn't think about that, and actually now it's funny because when I play with the pick, I actually have a floating hand technique. So maybe that comes from my classical training order.
Right, habits. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's true. Then with postures, I wanted to show you a couple of pictures of different postures that you can see for fingerstyle players, and kind of the same thing with anchoring a finger. We have kind of an ideal posture and ideal way of playing, but then you see, I don't know, a guy like Tommy Emmanuel, and he might, I don't know, anchor the finger or use a different posture. So just something to keep in mind. So here I have a couple of pictures. So for example, this is the classical posture for classical guitar, the classical repertoire. So we usually use this kind of footstool. I have one here actually that I always use. I don't know if you use it.
Yep. Got one out here.
Right.
I actually play electric as well on classical technique for the most
part.
Right.
That's what I wanted to say. That you see a lot of electric guitar players that use the same technique. So in that regard, it's not that different. The kind of the important thing, with this posture is that you have 3 contact points with the guitar. So you have the left, leg. So here, kind of in the upper leg. The right leg over here, and here in your chest. So the guitar is actually a little bit not like this, like fully horizontal, but it's also not perfectly vertical. So it's kind of laying just a little bit.
There's a bit of a tilt, yes.
In your chest, yeah, exactly. And then of course you have also here the right hand over here. Mm-hmm. And the important thing is that the guitar is not moving anywhere, because I see a lot that some people tend to hold the guitar with left hand. So whenever they have an open chord, or they have a switch, they have to move from one position to the other. The moment they open the hand, well, the guitar goes different way. So that's kind of important to have any posture you choose should be very stable, and you should have freedom to move both of your hands, and the guitar should stay there, and should be kind of a very that kind of secure posture. So this is one option. So you see he's resting his right leg, so his right foot in the stool. So that's two to actually to raise the guitar, and it gives you more access here to the higher
it will
frets.
be the right looking from the front. From your perspective, will be the left leg that you're putting your guitar in. Just to clarify that.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and I have here a couple of other. I look for other guitar players that I know they use different postures, just to show you this is kind of maybe the most used posture to play the guitar. Just here the kind of the little curve of the guitar is laying in the right hand, in the right leg instead of the left one. So the problem with this is that, or maybe not the problem, it's just it depends on what you play, but see the difference in the angle of the neck of the guitar. Here's more horizontal and here's more diagonal, right? So this gives you more easier access to the higher frets. So it's also more gentle in the hands when you play, bar chords, things like that. And you will see that, well, he also played with a strap, so that's also not an impediment for that. If you play fingerstyle, you can use a strap and playing standing up, just like with any other guitar. And you will see, for example, guitar players like this. This is Yamandu Costa, by the way, a great Brazilian guitar player, and he's also using, now we can't see, but he's also using a footrest, but he's using it in the opposite leg as this one, the classical way, not in the left leg, but the right one. And I like a lot this posture, because the goal is to kind of raise a little bit the guitar to have better access to the fret, and then the idea is the same, to have kind of a well very stable posture, so you're free to go wherever you want with your left or right hand. And I don't know if I have another one. Well, here I have just a couple more kind of classical, well, classic, not in the classical music way, but very common flamenco posture, with the cross leg. I wouldn't recommend this much. This kind of cuts your circulation in the leg.
Yeah.
And this is another posture that you should see a lot around this area of the continent here in the South America. People that play
my teacher used to play like that.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to the classical posture, but keeping both legs on the ground. And
right. The disadvantage for that is that you kind of need to lock your guitar with the right hand, so it's kind of clunky.
Yeah, with the right arm, right? So you have to.
But it gives you sort of the same reach throughout the fretboard, kind of like the classical position, with both legs in the floor instead of having to use the little stool.
Exactly, because also this can be a little bit tiring it's not super well balanced. The posture, you have one leg up, the other down, so that can lead to some physical pain. If you're not used to the kind of position.
Right. And Miguel, if you allow me, I can show you one more, which is not on your pictures, which is this little thing that I used to do. This is called, I'm not even sure of what the name of this is, but I was told this is called an ergo play. It's essentially you slap this here at the bottom, and it gives you the height as if you were putting your leg in here, but you have the comfort of having like both legs on the floor, which is like super nice.
Yeah, that's very good.
So it gives you exactly the same posture as some classical technique, but with the comfort of having your both feet on the ground, right? So this is giving me like music school vibes right now. I used this a lot back in the day.
Cool.
All right.
So why don't we get started with some playing, some exercises?
Let's go.
I have here a PDF that I'm going to share with you. So let's see. Okay. So this is kind of a very basic fingerstyle exercise that you can use as a warm-up, or to start moving those fingers. So this is how it goes. We will assign, the index, middle, and ring finger. That it's usually we use the A. You will see here the letters that indicate each finger. For the right hand, it's common to see P as the classical guitar tradition. It's a very Spanish tradition. So P for pulgar, right, in Spanish. Sometimes you see also the T, but it's very common to see the A also for the ring finger, and so that's good to know. So we will assign the third string, G string, to the index, the second string to the middle finger, and the first string to the ring finger, or A. So P, I, M, A. And it's like that, right? So each string, one finger. And with the thumb, we'll be playing the sixth string, the fifth string, and the fourth string. So here, the first one, you see we are just playing the sixth string with the thumb, and then we play index, middle, and ring finger. And each finger has one string assigned, so you don't need to think, which string you need to play, because it will be, if it's the third string, if it's the index, it will be the third string, or if it's a third string, it will be the index for this exercise. And so we go up, thumb, index, middle, ring, and we go back. So middle, index. We can loop that. So thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index, P, I, M, A, M, like that. So this is good to play with a metronome. Here it's written in 6/8, but for example, we can just play one note per beat. So now I'm in 75. So for example, and this is everything with open string. So when we're practicing this, we want to really focus on the right hand, so we don't even worry about the chord in the left hand. But we're actually playing an E minor. We don't need any fretting.
Right. What about the right hand fingering? Like essentially, well, there are two ways of, at least, well, the two basic ways of playing with the classical guitar, which is like tirando and apoyando. So essentially, you can, and this is important for arpeggio, because if you try to play an arpeggio and rest your fingers on the top string, you're gonna have a really bad time. So whenever you're trying to play like even this simple E minor arpeggio, you don't really want to rest your fingers on the top string, right? So what you want to do is, right? You want to finger pick the string, but you don't want to do this when you're playing arpeggios. Don't try to rest your finger on the top string. Otherwise, you're gonna get stuck. It's gonna be very clunky, and it's gonna be really, really hard to do arpeggios this way. Resting your fingers is nice to get a good attack on a melody. That's a whole different deal. But for arpeggios, you really want to do. You really want to do like that.
Absolutely, yeah. So That's a great comment because we do have those two kind of of attacks. One's the rest stroke, that is exactly that, when you play a note and then you rest on the next string. So if I play the first string, my finger will rest on the second string. And what happened there is that if the second string was ringing, if I play a rest stroke, automatically I will mute that second string. So exactly, if we want that kind of arpeggio sound that all the notes keep ringing, we want a free stroke. So we just plug the string and the finger kind of keeps going towards the palm of the hand, right? So if I play that exercise that we played before, will look like that. And the same thing it can happen with the thumb. So we can play a rest stroke or a free stroke. And that's right. So when we play like a lead melody, we might want to use a rest stroke because it gives you more attack. You get it's louder. Some people get better sound out of the guitar with that. The idea would be to be able to get a good sound with both techniques, but
different tools for different purposes. Mm-hmm. Like it's gonna be like rest stroke will give you way more volume, but if you want a more mellow tone, you want to play like without doing that. Like you can hear actually, like this is resting, not resting. There's a big difference, not just in volume but also in tone. This is way softer, right? Which is interesting for chord, like for playing chord progressions. Really softens up the tone. So yeah, just a creative tool for sure, apart from a technical one.
I was just checking the YouTube chat. So with the thumb you only do 6th and 5th string. Well, just for this exercise, we're playing the 6th, the 5th, and the 4th string, since we're assigning the top 3 strings to index, middle, and ring finger. But that doesn't mean that we cannot play with our thumb on the high strings, or that we can play with our fingers on low strings. This is just for the sake of the exercise. And then usually that's what you will be playing. The thumb will be taking care of the bass notes, and the fingers will be playing all the higher notes. So and that's actually I see that you reply to his comment that's exactly that. And exactly, Colin. Like nothing else matters. So if you master this exercise, you're right there. Just a couple more notes and you're ready to go.
Yeah.
So let's go back to that PDF. So you see this exercise, it's just moving the thumb. The other 3 fingers stay on the same place, and you can work on this kind of independently. So just this one. So the second one will be like this, with the thumb on the 5th string. And the last one with the thumb on the 4th string. Something like that. And then a next step will be to play this continuously, so without repeating. So we'll be moving the thumb, and that will help us, create this independence and also some string accuracy, because we want to have that the same as with the pick, that we want to, if we want to be able to pick the third string, we need to build that muscle memory with our hands, so the hand knows where the fifth string is, where the fourth string, the sixth string. When we play this continuously, we'll look a little bit like this. So sixth string, fifth, fourth, and we can actually go back. So fifth, sixth string. We can loop that and spend some minutes with that. And if you do that, every day, your hand will get used to this motion. Then it's kind of natural, to play like that. It feels to me that it's one finger, one string. So
Right.
that's a good warm up and exercise.
Very good, Miguel. Anyone it's been we're like halfway on today's session. So, guys, any questions? My question will be for you, Miguel. How do I join the GuitarZoom Academy?
That's
How
a
to
good
get
question.
more of Miguel playing fingerstyle?
The answer is right there in that link.
Yeah,
So
there we go.
I'll be sharing that link also on YouTube. So yeah, again, that link will take you to a couple of questions, just to know a bit more about you and your playing or your guitar journey. And if you're interested in joining the academy, you can have a call with us. We can tell you more about it, and yeah, we'll be happy to have you there. If it's either fingerstyle that you're interested in and keep developing, or other genres, we have a pretty nice team of instructors, all with different backgrounds, with different styles and genres that they're specialized in. So we will have the right fit for you.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Yeah, James, go ahead.
So I'm not real good at reading notes. So what I was looking at on your notes at the bottom, it said P-I, is that
Sure.
right?
Let me go back
I
to that.
couldn't make it out real clear.
Right. P it's for the thumb.
Oh,
I use this notation because it's kind of the standard in classical music, or in fingerstyle. Actually, if you are familiar with, I don't know, with
I'm
software
not familiar with any of that. So
like Guitar Pro, for example, it includes this same type of notation. But yeah, P is for thumb, I is for index, M for middle finger, so that's kind of easy. And the A is for the ring finger, because that's comes from anular, from Spanish, but it's just because kind of the classical guitar tradition comes from from Spain mostly, so it's common to see this notation, even if it's not specifically
understood. Okay.
Spanish.
Right, James, that notation style has a name. It's called PMAC or PIMAC, whatever you call it in English. That's, if you want to research on that. It's, again, like Miguel said, it's a standard, and everyone, like every single fingerstyle score that you're ever gonna see is gonna be on that fingerstyle writing.
Right.
Pulgar, índice, medio, anular, chico. That's the
Chico.
Spanish names for the finger. I think it's Chico, Chiquito. I have no idea. I
don't know.
I barely use this finger at all.
Yeah, it's rarely used, this one, for
Yeah.
but some people use it. So yeah. So for example, here I have uh, a, a chord progression that we can already apply this exercise. For example, we have a D major and G major. We can use, you know, our open string chords. So D major and G major, just these chords. And the kind of the important thing to know is to know where our root is in each of these chords. So when we play our D major, we have our root here in the open, well, D string or the open fourth string. So we will want to use probably this pattern. You see the last one that has the thumb, the P, on the fourth string. Right, so we'll be using, if we play this pattern over the D major, it will sound like that. So that's already kind of a nice arpeggio, a nice accompaniment for a song. Then we can, when we go to the G major, now we have our root here, the sixth string. So we can go to our first pattern with the thumb here on the sixth string. So if we play that pattern with the G, it will sound like that. So let's try to loop that progression. So two parts of D, 1, 2, now to G. The only thing that changed in my right hand is the thumb. So over the D I'm playing the fourth string, and over the G I'm moving to the sixth string. Well, and here we have the name of the song. We're not going to say it. We don't want any copyright claims. But you can get inspired with this song and see how it's played. I think actually I checked some live versions of the song, and I think they actually play with a pick. Like,
Really interesting.
yeah, like that. Yeah, because
Right.
it's kind of so natural to play with the with finger style. Well, actually these are the following chords, and for the E minor you'll get the same pattern as for the G. So the first one, because we have that low E, and we actually don't even need the left hand.
Yeah.
And then A major. We can use this one. And for the A, we might want to use the second pattern, because we have that. The fifth string is actually the A, the open A. So this is a good exercise, a good chord progression to actually to practice these changes, because from the D we'll be playing over the fourth string, the G in the sixth string, the E minor in the sixth string, for the A at the fifth string. Then this same pattern, we can find all different kind of combinations. It doesn't have to be like this, kind of in order from low to high. Instead of having P, I, M, A, we can have P, M, I, A. So again, always keeping that one finger per string thing. So the index over the third, the middle finger over the second string, and the ring finger over the first string. So we can have thumb, middle, index, ring. Again, thumb, middle, index, and ring. And again, I can change the bass note. if I apply it, for example, to the same chord, the D major, I get a different sound than this. I can do thumb, ring, middle, index, so kind of in the reverse. So depending on the song or whatever you want to, the mood you want to give it to the song, you can try different combinations. This is it's pretty good for accompanying, singers, accompanying any song. Okay, so here I have, this is kind of a different style of finger style. Within the finger style world, we have different ways of playing it. And this is kind of a very well-known and very used way of playing it, that is the alternating bass lines. That is also known as cotton picking or Travis picking. That the main thing is this. So we have this alternated bass. We have it now with open strings, fifth string and fourth string. We can start with that, for example. And the kind of the key thing is that the bass is always played with the thumb. So I'm playing open fifth string and open fourth string. So that would be a first step. I'm getting used to that. Then we can include the fingers. So, for example, index and middle. So in between each bass note, we can play the index and the middle. So we get thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb, middle. And again, the index will always play the third string, the middle will always play the second string. And the thumb will be alternated from fifth, fourth, fifth, fourth, fifth, fourth. So if I play this pattern, will look like this. So fifth, index, fourth, middle, fifth, index, fourth, middle. So you can speed it up a little bit. And at the beginning, it will sound like like four notes, tuka, 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 tuka. But the idea is that, especially then when you start adding chords with left hand, you will hear a bass. So for example, but the key is really here with that independence of being able to play with your thumb, that continuous bass lines and it's called alternating because you're moving, you're playing two different notes of the chord. And here I have a couple of different examples for this, some variations. This is the second one. The third one is kind of in reverse, so instead of going first with the index and then middle, first middle, then index. So, but note that even if we play first the middle finger, we're still playing the second on the second string. So something like that. So let's try, for example, over an A minor, for example. With the first pattern. And then we have two variants of this Travis picking, cotton picking, alternated bass fingerstyle pattern. And the last one, it's including a pinch at the beginning. So together with the thumb, we're playing another note. In this case, the middle finger, but it could be the ring finger, could be the index. Then the combinations are kind of endless, and it's up to each guitar player to find their own ways of playing. These are kind of three very common ones, but then listening to the repertoire and trying things out, you might find different combinations. And this one with
one thing I wanted to mention, like from my perspective, which I'm not like a main fingerstyle guy, like for me, relating to the bass on these patterns was a lot easier for me to get a hold of the timing in this. So if you have a chord and you try to get into the groove, especially when you try to add that pinch, which breaks kind of the I want to say the monotony, but if you play like this, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, like thumb, index, thumb, middle, it's always the same. Right, so
right,
1 2 3 4. It's kind of easy to have the rhythm in the head, but as soon as you have the pinch, and that breaks the pattern, right? So that makes it a little bit difficult or a little bit harder to keep up with the rhythm. So for me, the bass line is what keeps me together with the timing. Because no matter which pattern you're playing, if you're playing this one or the other one, the one we start with the second finger, with the second string, I mean, or you play the other one, or even the pinch, right? So if you play that one, that will always be there. Or even if you do you can do more complex patterns with this kind of style of fingerstyle. But the bass is kind of what holds everything together. Then you can do all kind of shenanigans with the rest of the fingers if you want. But the bass is kind of like giving you the main beat. It's kind of what holds everything together.
Right. I like to start from very basic pattern that there will be just that, for example, or whatever pattern you choose. But start just with the thumb, and then just add one other note. So, for example, and it's sometimes it's difficult to find that because you get a kind of like a polyrhythm thing just with the right hand. You're playing different rhythms. So maybe play index and middle. Continues the same pattern. Kind of leaving long notes or shorter notes. I find it kind of similar to this concept that we have of the organic strumming. It's kind of similar because you're keeping the beat with the thumb, and then you can come in and come out, adding more notes. Leaving more space, things like that. So just to start wrapping it out with this, so here you have the last pattern of this pinch, and here we're actually, the pinch is a longer note. If you see here, you have all these are 8 notes, so taka 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 taka, but this one, it's a longer note, so ta taka 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 ta taka taka taka. It sounds like this. So you have a pinch over the 5th, the 2nd string, and then if you see this is the same as this, or it's not exactly the same, but it's the same idea of this one note in between the bass lines, right? So we have, but it gets kind of interrupted with this pinch and kind of a longer note. So when you practice this, I will take it very slow because it's not easy to synchronize your thumb and your fingers, and you have to go very slow. You can follow the tab, play it, go beat by beat, so pinch, you can play that slowly, adding the other notes, and then speeding it up, and until it will click and you will start feeling and hearing that alternating bass and the other notes. So here I have another song example, another chord progression that you could apply. Let's say, for example, any of these patterns. Or for example, we can let's use this one, just the first one, over these chords. So we can use the regular open string chords, G and C. You could even use this, what we call the trick chords, the GCD trick chord. I'm just moving these 2 fingers down for the C. And let's play any of these patterns. The one thing similar to what we were doing here is that we were moving the thumb to wherever the root is. So for example, over the G, we might want to start on the 6th string, right? For example, that. And we can play around. We can play 6th and 5th string, or 5th and 4th string. And that's where it starts getting more interesting, because we have to skip one string with the thumb, so it starts to getting more challenging, right? Then C. You see, when I move to C, I'm starting my pattern over the 5th string, because there's where I have the root and the bass note of that chord. Back to the G, I move my bass to the first note to the 6th string. My index is always playing the 3rd string, my middle finger is always playing the 2nd string. I can change the pattern. I can use, for example, the pinch pattern. So for example, things like that. You have any questions, guys? Any comments? Manuel, you have anything?
No, all good, all good. It's just a matter of working on that hand synchronization and making those patterns just automatic. It's kind of like strumming. You don't really want to think about like it just flows, right? So
Right.
you do it very slow at the beginning. So try to look at your right hand, not at your left hand. So and try to keep a steady tempo. At the beginning, you will feel like you will maybe speed up or slow down when you those try to do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to keep the tempo as even as you can, and yeah, build from there.
That's it. Yeah. I will actually start just with the open string, so you can really focus on the right hand. But yeah, it's true that maybe having, maybe you start with an easy chord that you don't get any trouble fretting, because then with the chord you start hearing, we actually get some patterns of root fifth, or root third. If you know a little bit of the triads and how the chord is built, and then you can choose what kind of pattern for the bass you want. So that's why you were mentioning you can have from the root third, fifth, third. That's kind of very common one. That's kind of different from what we saw today. It's a little bit more
I have
advanced.
a real quick question. On your chart or the music that you had laid out, I was having a little bit of a problem identifying, let's see, what is it? So the thumb, so I'm looking at the bottom tab
Here.
and then over. So I see the thumb is fourth and fifth, fourth and fifth, fourth and fifth. And then over here, it goes thumb. And then I forgot what that note's called, but that's
Here?
an I.
Yeah, this is an I for index. You can think of
Okay,
index
so-
and a middle finger.
Okay, my bad. I had that messed up. I was thinking that was the thumb. Okay.
No, just, and here I separated, so all these ones are thumb below the tab, and over the top you have the finger.
Yes, I see that. I was
Sure.
not seeing that right. Okay,
No problem.
thank you.
And yeah, and here you have a couple of titles that you can hear later, and pay attention to that. What kind of pattern they're using, living on a jet plane, or songs like, for example, "Dust in the Wind" are very common and that use these patterns. And this one everybody heard, to try out those techniques. Actually, Cotton and Travis Picking are named after guitar players that use and kind of created, or they made popular this technique. So Elizabeth Cotton is an incredible guitar player, and you guys have to look her up. And what is the name? I think it's Merle Travis. You can listen to guys like Chet Atkins or to Tommy Emmanuel, for example. They're great guitar players to get inspired with this. Okay, guys, I think time's up. If you don't do you have any last questions, anything? If not, we will leave you again that link if you want to check out the academy. And yeah, we'll be happy to see you there. We'll have another lesson on Thursday, right?
Yep.
So be sure to stay in tune for that. And and that's it. Thank you very much, guys. And
thank you, Miguel.
Thank you, Manuel. Good sharing one lesson finally.
There we go. All right, guys. Have a
Thanks
good
very
evening.
much. Manuel, any chance of you posting your little cheat sheet there so we can practice?
The PDF, you mean that we just shared? Yeah, absolutely. I can
That'd be
post it
fantastic. Thank you.
in the school. So yeah, see you guys next time.
Thank you so
Take care.
much.
Bye bye.
Bye
Thanks
bye.
for stopping by. Take care.